So what's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. I apologize for not really putting out a video yesterday. It was my girlfriend's birthday, so I kind of didn't do a video for anything. I spent the day with her, kind of giving her a yes day or whatever. Whatever she wanted to do, we did. But we're back. We're back, and unfortunately, yesterday, Israel full on broke the ceasefire. They broke the ceasefire. They bombed the Gaza Strip, killing 104 Palestinians is, I think, the latest number. And then afterwards was like, oh, well, okay, now we'll after kind of being like from the U.S. being, what the hell are you doing, bruh? They're like, oh, sorry, our bad, but we had pretext for it, so but it's back on, no problem. We won't do it again. Like, we had our reasons, and here they are. So we're going to talk about this. 104 Palestinians. And reports are saying that 46 of these are children, 20 of them were women. 46 children died yesterday in Gaza. And why? Why did this happen? So we're going to talk about that. Thank you for joining. If you are new here, welcome to ClearTalk. If you like what you see, if you want to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share if you want to. I'm not really in the mood to just full on. You know the deal. This is YouTube. You can check out my other channels as well if you'd like to do all that. And there's support there if you want to give any kind of support. Fuck it. Honestly, the ones that need support is Gaza. I'm like so fucking annoyed at this right now. If you are returning, thank you very much. You are amazing. And I said that I will always tell you that, even if I'm in a bad mood. Okay, so what happened? Israel claims that there's two things, the reason why they decided to break the ceasefire and just indiscriminately bomb the fuck out of Gaza, killing 104 people. One is that there was apparently a IDF soldier that was killed by a I'm sure the claim is probably Hamas or some, whatever. From what I'm understanding, and this has even, I think, been to some degree claimed by Israel as well, is that there is a group of fighters, whenever you have something like this happen, and understand, all the blame always goes on Hamas. And granted, there's probably blame to be given to Hamas, no doubt. Like, some of the blame certainly probably does fall on Hamas, no doubt. But understand that Hamas is not the only fighters. We've said this over and over and over again. There is nuance to this area. They are not the only fighters. They are not the only ones that even did any kind of actions on October 7th. Okay, there are several sort of guerrilla-like rebel fighting groups, whether they're all families or whatever, or even just collective fighters, that they're small groups, but they are all throughout Gaza. Okay, Hamas is just the largest, most formed, structured group in Gaza, but they are not the only one. There are really small pockets of jihadist, rebel, guerrilla groups, that some of which agree with Hamas, some of which don't agree with Hamas, some of which actually, to some degree, even fight for Israel against Hamas, some of which can't stand Hamas or Israel. They, like there's a whole bunch of nuance that goes on here. So in all of the things going on, you have some of these groups that wind up, even if it's like only a couple of individuals, they get cut off from the rest of the area or the rest of like what's necessarily going on. And this has been admitted by a lot of intelligence, including, I think, even Israel themselves. You have these groups that don't necessarily know, or even maybe even don't completely agree with the ceasefire. Okay. And you have sometimes individuals that like I said, maybe not know, they've been cut off from really, full on understanding or communications of what's going on. And then suddenly they, pop up, or maybe they, even if they do have it, the intelligence, they just don't care. And they make an attack, whether they come across an Israel IDF soldier or something like that, they attack them and they kill, whatever. Okay. This happens. An IDF soldier was killed, and it was apparently by some rogue or some random fighter within the Gaza Strip, or fighter adjacent, whatever. And that was one pretext. But I think the second one is the one that they are claiming the biggest reason, the biggest pretext is some footage where, okay, the whole argument is that because we still have, Hamas is still trying to find, or still trying to get help collecting the dead remains of the hostages that are dead. There's still 13 outstanding bodies that they have not given back to Israel. And Israel's claim is that they're purposely not giving them back. They're withholding. They know where they are, and they're just holding back on purpose to not give them to us. So that they can regroup, restructure, get things going, or whatever, so that they can attack us again, or who knows what their arguments are. Or just to keep us from bombing them, to kind of, their strategy of holding the ceasefire, which, I mean, honestly, could you blame them? Especially when you have Israel claiming that they're not going to, that the ceasefire is only basically, just temporary. And that it's, there's so many people in Israel, so in the government, stating that the most loud people as well, stating that as soon as we get all the bodies back, we're going right back at it. The eradication of Hamas is the point, and that of Hamas is the point, in that I mean, clearly you would want to for Hamas, there is a strategy possible there to withhold, at least to some degree, or to little by little slowly release bodies. Because at least if you're still releasing a body, there's an argument, okay, it's kind of like your debt, as long as you're paying a little bit on your debt, there's an argument for the debtor to not, I mean, the one that's, holding, that you owe your debt to, whatever, to not just completely cut you or whatever, whatever. Anyways, as long as you're a little bit, so they, you know what I mean. Sorry, I didn't pull that together very well. But there is an argument there, and I mean, to some degree, can you blame them a little bit, even if that is the case? But nevertheless, there is footage showing where there was this particular body of an IDF soldier who died in 2024, Israel has gotten parts of his remains back, but there were still remains that were left that Hamas needed to find or had, or even if they may have had the remains, but they hadn't given it back over. And there was some sort of an exchange where Hamas got in contact with the Red Cross, and they finally gave these remains over to the Red Cross for the Red Cross to then give to Israel about this IDF soldier, which I don't think is actually connected with the hostages. And this was apparently evidence for Israel to say, see, we know Hamas knows where these bodies are, and they are purposely holding back. So they are breaking the ceasefire because they are not giving our hostages back like they agreed they would. And so therefore, fuck you, we're going to bomb you. So because a rogue or apparent just angry opposition fighter who potentially could have been cut off from understanding or knowing about the ceasefire, or just a rebel against the ceasefire for whatever reason, kills an IDF soldier. An argument that Hamas isn't releasing soldiers enough, or isn't releasing hostages fast enough, as the pretext for you to bomb across the Gaza Strip, killing 104 people, 46 of which reportedly children. This is the argument. While Israel themselves have over and over and over again broke this ceasefire agreement technically, because for starters, even just in humanitarian aid, they have been restricting humanitarian aid, and the agreement was that the humanitarian aid would be freely flowing, like it's supposed to flow, like it's supposed to go in there. The amount of aid that is truly needed for these people to, be brought back from famine. And Israel has been restricting that over and over and over again. Not only that, but this apparent yellow line that they, agreed on, which is not like some kind of line that's been literally dug or put in through the field, through Gaza. So it's like, you don't know exactly, like people there are just trying to get back to, their homes, or getting back to whatever areas that they come from, to see what's left of it. Everything is demolished. It's hard to tell what's what and where you are a lot of times, but it's not like you really are giving any kind of, like, these people don't know exactly where you are, but it by any means that a Palestinian somehow just comes close or crosses this imaginary fucking line, they get killed. They get shot and killed by Israeli IDF soldiers. That's not like they go, hey, this is the line. You need to stay across there. Don't come across here. If you go across here, we'll consider it a threat and we will kill you. It's not even that. Not even that is happening. It's they cross the line, fuck you, boom. It's like it's a pretext for just killing. They don't care. There's no that is not a ceasefire. That is not you having some sort of like resistance to actually, holding into a ceasefire. And Israel's been doing this since the beginning. Okay, so they have over and over and over and over again broken the ceasefire agreement in their own way, as we've talked about before. They are known for doing this. Ceasefire for them means you cease, we fire. even the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, which we keep talking about, posted about them, Israel breaking the ceasefire and killing 104 people, 46 of which are children. She even questioning in her post, this war crimes? This looks like war crimes. No fucking shit. Oh, but you want to know what else is very fucking interesting? You want to know what else is really fucking interesting and just happens to be very coincidental? You know what else was going on yesterday? Net and fucking Yahoo there was a continuation of his criminal trials happening yesterday. And you know what happened? Those criminal trials got cut short. Why? Because of national security reasons. And what national security reason was that? The fact that fucking Israel had to bomb Gaza. His criminal trial proceedings got cut short. That started back yesterday, was supposed to have got conveniently cut short for him because of national security reasons, because they found pretext to bomb, and he's got to be there. If we're going to bomb them, if we're going to break the ceasefire, we need our leader here present to say, go ahead. Isn't that pretty fucking coincidental? Are we going to keep letting this happen? Are we going to keep letting this guy skirt away from his criminal indictment in his own country to drop bombs as an excuse for that, killing innocent people over the most ridiculous reasons? Oh, and an IDF soldier was killed by, that was one of the pretexts. But guess what happened in these attacks? An IDF reservist died because of Israeli bombs yesterday. An IDF soldier, reserve soldier, died by his own country's bombs to indiscriminately kill Palestinians and to get their prime minister out of criminal trials. So Israel can kill their own, and they, we had to. We're sorry, that shouldn't have happened. It's a tragedy of war, I guess. I bet nobody would make the excuse. I bet nobody would be okay with Hamas saying, you've been killing Palestinians that just come even close to this imaginary line that nobody fucking really knows where it is. So because you've been killing our people, we can shoot some rockets into Tel Aviv. We have the right to defend ourselves, because, see, that's what fucking Rubio said in the Air Force One before, interestingly enough, before this attack happened. That, in response to the IDF soldier being killed, he says, "Oh well, Israel, if they need to defend themselves, that the ceasefire does not prevent them from being able to defend themselves. So if they need to defend themselves, then they will, to defend themselves." Basically, giving a green light for this to happen in the first place. So does Hamas, does the Palestinian people have a right to defend themselves because you've been indiscriminately shooting them because they come close to this imaginary line that you have, decided on that they can't fucking see? And you claim that, oh, well, they're maps, we've dispersed maps, so, the Israeli government, the IDF, military of Israel, have committed war crime after war crime after fucking war crime. To such degrees, and their excuse all the time is, oh, well, what about Hamas? What about Hamas? What about Hamas? What about Hamas? What about... And while I get it, I get Hamas has killed people. I get it. I get it. But again, we bring up over and over again here the balance, okay? The balance there. Roughly 1,200 on October 7th versus tens of thousands since. And even in this attack, one IDF soldier, 104 Palestinians. Do you the equivalence here? Do you not see how imbalanced this whole argument is? Again, we're talking about an area that has guerrilla groups, rebel groups that are groups that have created within a group of people to find every possible way they can to defend themselves and give some sort of pushback against a sovereign nation army that is funded and supplied by the largest army in the fucking world. But Israel must defend itself. It'd be like me fighting. Fuck it. I'm not going to say that because somebody out there would twist that around and try to make it seem reasonable. If you don't see what's going on here, the ridiculousness of Israel and their claims, and that there's all intentions to break it any possible way they can. Now, even there's reports that they are digging in on this yellow line as if they're like permanently setting themselves to not leave, to have full control. And in some degrees, they have actually taken back some sections and now have more of the Gaza Strip than they were supposed to from this imaginary yellow line. And all the while, the United States we continue to defend it, like the arguments from Rubio. That, well, I mean, they have a right. They have a right. Does that right mean that a retaliatory attack must kill hundreds of people? Seems like there could be a more reasonable retaliation. Or maybe even if you actually are, honest about trying to engage in a ceasefire, maybe some forgiveness can be had, especially when you know what you are doing. Like the arguments that have been had, well, sometimes things happen. We have little bitty things here and there. Yes, some Palestinians have been shot, but it's just misunderstandings or just what happens. It's what happens in these things, even in ceasefires. This happens. That's not being used. That excuse is not being used when it's on the other side. It's, oh shit, you hurt one of our people. Rain fire. Do you see what we can do? Don't do it again or we will rain it again. It's all a method. It's all methods of control, power. This is we can't. This is ridiculous. And how and then when it comes to like these fighters that are kind of roguish and have the potential to flip on a dime because they don't necessarily really agree with the ceasefire, but they're kind of bending to Hamas because Hamas is really trying to actually maybe have this ceasefire. And then Israel makes an action like that. What do you think happens? What do you think happens to these types of fighters that are already on the fucking fence? What happens to the psyche of them? Israel's basically backing their argument that they probably are having with Hamas, being like, we told you that Israel was not going to, actually agree. They were not going to hold the agreement. We've been trying to tell you that, but you said that they would. And you went into this agreement that they would. And even though that they're dishonest, they just proved it to you. Why are we doing this? You're giving them all the ammunition to, continue making little fight skirmishes here and there, which will then in turn cause Israel to be like, oh, see, there they go. Rain fire. It's a never-ending cycle, and Israel has created this. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace, clear talk. I'm out.